Yeah, man, welcome to another Vinyl Wednesdays. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. I have two records for you. I'm going to show those records in a minute, but first, let's go into the intro. Last Wednesday, I used a soul record. I wanted to make something different, something that wasn't involved with jazz and hip hop. That's what I do mainly here on the channel. This week, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to grab records that are not jazz. I could be making jazz beats every day. That's what I love doing. And that's probably what I should be doing because it's something I love. And I think that kind of shows when you make something that you really love. It comes through the videos. Also, at the same time, I don't want to be boring or anything. I wanted to try something different because this is content for public, for the world. I'm going to come back to jazz and hip hop next week. I'm going to go dig tomorrow, and I'm going to find some records and bring them in. But I went to my record collection and grabbed two records that I've used in the past actually. The world famous Arias. This is opera record. So I was digging through my folders and I found this in there and I wanted to try it again. I've used this in the past, but it didn't go well. The funny thing about one of these songs is in a movie which is called The Fifth Element. So there's a part in the film where you see this alien singing opera. And I remember when I heard it, I was like, wow, like this is obviously made by a machine or something like that. No human could do that. And yeah, it's obviously you can hear that some of the singing parts are done by electronic machines, but others aren't. And I found that out when I got this record. So this comes from one of my adventures into flea markets. So when I'm hearing it, I'm going like, this is actually real. These girls actually sing like this because it's taken from this record right here. So yeah, it's just brilliant. They sing really well, and you have a lot of changes. Like it's not that boring opera, well, but but it's when I heard it, I said I want to make something out of this, and I tried it the first time, it didn't work, so I'm trying it again. So the other one is this one, Winston Clark. I took just a very small bit from the beginning of the song. So I used these two records. I'm using opera today just because I want to give something different to the channel. I want you to listen to different samples, to different possibilities, not just to be putting jazz samples all the time. I much prefer to be doing that with all honesty. But at the same time, I kind of want to experiment and create something different, video content, I mean, for the channel, So that's why I'm choosing these records. Also, it reminds me of something that goes through my mind a lot of the times, which is, one of my theories into sampling and making beats with samples is that you can make beats out of anything. So any sample goes, any sample works. That's one of the things that's always on my mind in the back. But I think that's one of my strengths, and also one of the things that brings me down into music production. You can make beats from anything and you can cut anything. This beat is an example, but does it suit your style? Is that you? Do you see yourself in that music? That's one of the things that I came to realize after many years of experimenting with a ton of sounds, is that I was making all of these different sounds, all these different beats, but I wasn't seeing myself in many of those beats. That's really a question that actually came up when I was making this beat. Like, this isn't me, but it sounds good. It sounds okay, and I think it's a question that I think, and I might share this question as well in the channel. After so long of cutting a lot of records, of cutting a lot of samples, I find myself nowadays just trying to stick to one sort of sample, one type of sample that I know it works with the style of music that I want to make. So that's one of the lessons that I've learned over many, many years of cutting. You can cut from anything and make a beat out of anything, but is that really, do you really see yourself in the beats on those cuts? So you might want to be more selective when you're chopping a record. At least I'm being more selective when I cut a record. That was one of my mantras. You can make music out of anything, you know. But nowadays I don't follow that anymore. And it's okay because I think producers change and the mind of a producer ends up being different after a year or two. I think it's just normal for us to get more experience and follow different paths, man. It's normal. I'm not saying that what I did was wrong because I did gain a lot of experience from cutting other types of records. I know how to use other type of sounds, and I know what other types of sounds will produce in the end. There's nothing wrong with what I did or anything. It's just now I focus more into chopping things that I love, that I know are going to make me sound the way I want to sound. So the first thing that I did was to create a rhythm. I have this kick, that snare, and that hi-hat. I just love that hi-hat. I think it might be filtered. It's just a very small low pass running through it. Snare, kick. These two are compressed. They have a bit of compression. No compression, with compression. Now you can feel the kick. So I have this going. Yeah, so I'm feeling that rhythm. I'm putting that down. Afterwards, I use this chop from Winston Clark, which is right here. No, not this. This is warped, but when you drop the drums over it, you barely hear it. Okay, after this bass, I want a bass, and I was gonna make something like with a lot of groove, a lot of melody, but I ended up not doing that. Just having a very basic bass line over it. So that's it. After this, I go into the record of the world famous Arias, and I use these sounds from their voices to create melodic parts over the top, using a lot of reverb just to kind of have some sort of ghostly sounds over it. Also, there's a string, a sample in here, and, and there's a lot of voices. So let me take you through the samples. Yeah, this sample right here, you can do a lot with this. This is the voice as well, but it's pitched up by a lot. So there's interesting things that you can do with these voices, and you're going to hear it now. I'm going to play you the beat. I hope you guys enjoyed the sample. And again, I'm just trying to create different textures, not just always going into jazz and hip hop, which I will do next week because I miss it. I hope you guys enjoy the content. I'm going to leave you with a beat right now. I want to thank you everyone, because everyone's been really, really nice, putting out really positive vibes. I love that. I love critiques. I always expect to be criticized. I'm putting myself out there, but I've gained a lot of positive feedback. As long as everything's constructive, I'm digging it. I like it, and yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much. Peace.